everyone, and welcome to another episode of Game Sharks. I am your host, Jimmy Good, and I'm joined once again by a lovely panel today. First off, my co-host, Mr. Cory Lang. I get lost in your eyes sometimes.
Oh,
Cory,
man.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Jimmy? Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me back. They
Yeah.
let me back into the studio. But also, Anthony.
Hello.
Mr. Bettine, he's back.
I'm back.
He's
I'm
ready.
back. You can't get rid of me.
You're
I'm lost in
tropical.
his shirt.
I was saying,
I just can't stop staring at
I
it.
love it. It's so good. It's like
Yeah.
very like you're making a deal near Jurassic Park, but not in Jurassic
Yes,
Park.
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Very good.
Right.
Dude.
We're gonna
How
do a
are
fashion
you?
show on Anthony's wardrobe.
It's good.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have you strut out here. No,
Right.
all right.
Yeah.
I've got my walk ready.
Exactly. We're gonna get the missus to watch today.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's how we get
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But how have you been?
Good. Very good. Very
Good.
good. Yeah. Excited to be back. Thank you guys.
Well, thank you guys for being here. Now, I asked you guys, we need to talk about something the rest of 2022. You know what I mean? And I wanted to go into detail on the back half of this year, even though a lot of things got pushed. A lot of things. Rest in peace, Starfield. Breath of the Wild 2. You know, I don't even know what else. We missed a few things, but
Forspoken.
Forspoken,
That got pushed back.
yeah. You're right, that did get pushed back. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about a few games today that we're still excited about in 2022. And I talked to Cory about this beforehand, and I'm glad he brought it up because I was like, this is the first thing I want to bring up today because we got to get it out of the room, which is God of War Ragnarok, which is a game that we've all been waiting for a long time. And we're like, when is this coming out? Is it still coming out this year? A lot of people are like, it's not coming out this year. And then Sony's like, no, it's coming out this year.
Yeah.
All right, it's coming out in November.
Yeah.
November 9th as of this recording.
And they were very polite not to take the Starfield date. The 11/11/11.
Wouldn't that have been?
Or 11. No, I'm thinking the Skyrim date.
No, yeah, but
11/11/2022. Yeah.
Yeah, which that was nice of them to do.
Yeah.
So thanks, Sony. But still,
Right.
now that's not even a thing for them. But now, God of War Ragnarok. Cory, I want to start with you.
Sure.
Are you getting this thing day one?
Yeah, I think it's smart to just get this game out of the way because
Sure.
obviously this is probably I'm going to assume this is maybe the biggest game that potentially we're looking forward to. We'll see what Anthony has to say, but of course. Yeah, that game was incredible in 2018. If it wasn't for Spider-Man, it probably would have been my game of the year.
Yeah.
I love that reboot and the only bizarre thing I think about this game is how little we've seen and how little time there is left until that game's released. I mean, we've seen like a couple cinematics and a short gameplay thing, and they like teased a big wolf. It looks really cool.
Fenrir.
Yes.
Usually Loki's son.
Right.
If you know anything about the lore of this game, how does that work? We don't know.
We don't know. We'll
Very
find out.
interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean, numerous state of plays, and like we had that little E3 thing, which I think was their state of play.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's August,
Yeah.
and we've seen so little of this game, and it's arguably one of the biggest games of the year.
Oh, totally.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's smart to pull this out and start with that because so many games were delayed into next year.
Yeah.
And I think Sony's positioned in a lucky way, for lack of better words, to have this game as kind of the big thing, right?
Yeah.
Maybe aside from like Modern Warfare 2.
Sure.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
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 I'm excited.
I think it's confidence play. I think that with Sony, they're like, we don't have to show too much. People are going to buy it. If you have PlayStation 5, you're probably going to get it. I don't know if it's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio there. But Anthony, where do you land now on God of War?
I'm very excited. I also love that 2018 game.
Okay.
So I'm super excited. I'm mostly excited to see the structure this game takes because
Yeah.
I really like the structure of that first game, how it was like semi-open world, but
Sure.
kind of like that. It had that like hub and spoke structure. And I'm curious to see if this one goes, because I've heard it's going to be a lot more open. Is it just going to be like a full open world? Is it going to maintain that structure from the first game? But yeah, super excited to see where they go with the story, how they evolve the combat, because I think the combat in that last one was incredible and
it's really fun.
a really like a departure from the combat in the previous God of War games,
Yeah.
but I think in some ways even better than those games.
Yeah.
So yeah, super excited. I think it's interesting. I would not be surprised if we get like a Sony event in like September.
I can
That's
totally
like,
see that, totally.
Hey,
Yeah.
this is the last big thing you're gonna see before God of War comes out. And then it's also interesting in that like Microsoft doesn't really have a big release for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Starfield was their 2022 thing, and then that got pushed back.
Right.
And so now Sony really is just like, hey, this is the game. Like, if you want like a big single player thing, this is what you got this fall. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's a Ubisoft event in September as well.
Yes,
correct?
there is.
Yeah.
So
Right.
this year could still change. It's so weird to me. We're in August and we don't 100% know what to expect for this fall.
That's what happens when your E3 is not existent anymore, kind of
Right.
in a way, and it's like we don't know what to do anymore. Because Microsoft used to do the whole, it's like in the next 6 months, or Bethesda used to do this, it's like the next 6 months or a year, this is what's coming out, and like no matter what. And now it's just like, really, I don't know. I'm not really sure anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, but I forgot to ask you, are you a day one guy?
Well, I'll have like a 1-month-old child.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna be yeah.
When it comes out, so we'll see. We'll see how much free time I have. But
Honey, I just need to go and be in Ragnarok.
but so we might have to put it on the backlog for a while. But
That's fair
definitely gonna play it at some point.
That's fair. And you both have PlayStation 5s?
Yes.
Okay, so you're like the 2 out of 4 people who do have PlayStation.
Yep.
Right.
We have
Cool.
half the
Very nice.
PlayStation 5s on our.
Very nice.
Although I was at Champlain Target yesterday and they had a Series X in stock. They had 2 of them in stock
What?
sitting there. I'm going to wait till first Starfield though.
Yeah.
I don't feel in
Pull
a
that
rush
trigger.
to get that right now.
Yeah, there's no rush.
Apparently, when PlayStation Direct has done, like you can join the queue and buy PlayStation 5, those have been like long. You had a longer window recently. Like
Oh, cool.
they've had PlayStations for like 20 minutes, which
Oh,
is
sure.
better than like 30 seconds
That's
before.
true,
So
yeah.
it seems like
Yeah.
it's getting a little easier. It's still not like you can't walk into a store and buy one.
Yeah.
but,
Right.
One day.
Yeah.
I think we're like approaching 2 years now. And the fact
crazy.
that you can't walk into a store and buy a PlayStation 5 is just wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I know.
I can't even. I don't have a PlayStation 5 yet. So like,
Yeah.
while I'm very excited for God of War Ragnarok, and I probably
Right.
would be a day one, I'm gonna wait because I could play on my PS4, but I'm afraid it'll take off into the stratosphere because it's like, it's
Is
like
that not
levitating.
on PC day one?
I don't know if it is.
Is that not a thing?
Well,
Am I
even if it was,
crazy?
my PC would also take off.
Explode, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I know they ported the 2018 reboot into
Yes.
PC, and they had some issues with it. I think.
I think so. What I've been hearing, people like the port a lot,
Right.
but what I think Sony's trying to do is maybe wait a little bit in between because
Okay.
you want to. It's kind of a going to movie theaters and then coming to streaming thing. Where it's
Sure.
like, all right, we got to make our money up front, and then
Yeah.
it's like, we put it over here.
Right.
So I don't know if they're going to do simultaneous launches on PC for a while.
Okay.
Even though Sony is starting to get into that more and more now. But yeah, Ragnarok, I'm looking forward to it. One thing that I did have an issue with in the first game, well, I really love that game, one of the best games, 2018 as well. It's no Monster Hunter World, but still, is that the bosses, they talked about that they didn't have enough time to really make a lot of different bosses, so you kind of fight the same troll a few different times throughout that
Right.
game. And so I'm really curious to see.
Except for like those Valkyries, there's like those mini bosses.
which man, they were so tough, but I was so happy
Really
to
tough.
rip
Did you
their
do
heads
all
off.
of them?
Did them all.
Wow.
Wow.
I did them
They're
all.
tough.
I gave up. I gave up.
Me too. I did too.
I had a little weird
Yeah.
strategy, but I kept at it, and I was like,
Yeah.
they're all gonna die.
Right.
And I was so proud. I was so happy. But I even have like video of it. I'm like, I beat it. I beat those
Yeah.
stupid Valkyries. So yeah, I'm really curious to see what they do because the first time around they had plenty of budget, plenty of time, but this one I feel like Sony was like, take your time, make what you want to make,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll still see if it's the one shot. I'm sure it still will be like one take, as
Yeah.
it were.
Oh yeah.
So I'm curious to see. But yeah, I was like, we need to talk about God of War Ragnarok for just a second, because if we didn't, people would be like, why'd you bring that up? They got to talk about God of War Ragnarok. But now we can get into something a little more obscure. Corey, I feel like you've got something.
So are we doing 3, 2?
Whatever I want as much time as we have.
Okay.
QC won't let us talk all day.
That's right.
I talked
yeah.
to them about this to turn the whole channel
Sure.
into just Game Sharks.
24 hours
Yeah.
of Game Shark.
Yeah, where we're going to be sitting here for 24 hours.
Yeah,
to just
yeah,
loop
right.
it
Can
again
you
and
imagine?
again.
It's an extra life, right? That's
Yeah.
like the stream, yeah.
Exactly. Summer games done slowly.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing. Very slowly. But
We'll have to get Troy back in here for that. Remember when he brought the extra
Oh my
life jerseys?
gosh,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
That was great. That was very good.
I'll start with just a light one, the Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection, which
Dude.
comes out, I think, next week or the week after.
Dude, yeah.
Yes, I think this is Digital Eclipse who's done, don't quote me on this, I think like the Mega Man collection,
Okay.
potentially like the Disney Afternoon collection. It's one of those, regardless. And it looks like a lot of love and care has been brought in, so it's all the NES, SNES, the arcade port, and the Game Boy games,
Whoa.
which I'm actually really excited about. So I grew up with this stuff.
Yeah.
I love that old cartoon, which is kind of what kickstarted a lot of these games, right? Was
Oh,
that
totally.
was the line of toys and the cartoon in the 80s, the animated series, I should say.
Yeah.
But what's really exciting are those Game Boy ports, because I know one in particular is like really rare and really expensive if you can find it.
Okay.
And it's never been ported digitally outside of emulation. And I never had a Game Boy. So apparently, I think it's 3. The Game Boy version of the Turtles game is like a Metroidvania. And I guess it's like great. It's supposed to be like really good.
Oh, cool.
It's black and white, obviously, so it's a Game Boy game.
Sure.
But So you get, the arcade game, you get the Turtles in Time, which was the SNES arcade fighter. You get, I think it's the Manhattan Project, which I think was a Genesis game.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a couple others in there, and then of course the NES game,
Sure.
which was a side-scrolling kind of RPG of sorts. So it's a collection of games. I know there's like some museum kind of archived historic like aspects to it, like they've done with the Mega Man games.
Sure.
If you guys have ever played any of those collections, pretty sure it's Digital Eclipse that's done those.
Okay, cool.
And I think in this one, it's like a lot of comic book style infographics where you're like flipping through like old manuals and like old clippings from the 80s that like kind of archive those 80s games. So love it. I love those games. It's all those Turtles games, and I love that they call it the Cowabunga collection.
Dude.
And I think yesterday they just announced the title of Seth Rogen's new animated blockbuster that's coming next summer, Mutant Mayhem.
Whoa.
So great timing.
Yeah.
So Turtles are back. You got Shredder's Revenge, which I just finished and I loved.
Yeah, I've not finished it yet, but I played a little bit of it, and it's super fun.
It's great.
Yeah.
So it's a good time to be a Turtles fan.
Yeah.
Cowabunga collection, I think it comes out next week or the week after. I'll probably get it on Switch, I guess. Sure. We'll see. I haven't heard if it's coming to Game Pass like Shredder's Revenge.
Sure.
Where you guys at with Cowabunga collection? Is this on your radar at all?
Anthony, where do you land?
So I've never really played. I was a huge Ninja Turtles fan growing up, but I never really played the video games.
Okay.
So I don't have that like nostalgia aspect for it. I did really
Right.
enjoy Shredder's Revenge.
Right.
I played a little bit of it single player, and then I was playing it co-op with my brothers-in-law.
Right.
And it's just a really neat little experience. It feels really good, the combat and everything.
Yep.
So I don't know that I'll get in on the Cowabunga collection, but
Okay.
I am curious. I'm curious about this Metroidvania.
Yes.
I haven't heard of that one before. So.
Well, so the big deal with the arcade game, when that came out, it blew people away because it looked like the cartoon.
Sure.
It was one of like the Simpsons came out with the arcade game,
Yeah.
the X-Men came out that looked like the animated series. So it was one of the 3 big arcade beat 'em ups that looked like the cartoon. And that was so exciting. And then the SNES version was more pixel art. So, yeah. Where are you at with that?
I was gonna say, I've had my time with Shredder's Revenge. I've gone through it like twice already.
Okay.
We played a few levels together, I think.
Yes,
I
we
forget
did.
Who were you playing with now, or who's your main?
It was either playing as Donatello or probably Leonardo. I'm a Leo guy.
And Anthony, who are you?
I'm usually a Raphael guy.
Raph,
Yeah.
good choice.
Mm-hmm.
I was Splinter the first time, and then Casey the next because you unlock Casey Jones.
Right.
So my Shredder's Revenge maybe sated it for now, but we'll see if the collection's really good.
Yep.
I'm not gonna say no necessarily. I love the Turtles. It was weirdly like my older sister's thing was the Turtles. That was more her time.
Okay.
So like when I started growing up, it was mostly Pokemon.
Right.
So that was like my fixation. My second job as a kid, besides school, was Pokemon. So like that was my thing. So if they ever came out, well, they've re-released things, but imagine if they did like a Pokemon collection, I'd be like,
Yeah.
please get that away from me.
Right.
Nintendo could print money
Oh,
if they
I
just
know.
re-released all those games, and especially if they did like the Heart Gold and Soul Silver, if they just put them on Switch, they would just print money.
I know,
But
I don't-
Nintendo's allergic to printing money
Yeah.
because they already have so much.
I know,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
like where's the aversion? But yeah, so the Cowabunga collection, when
Yep.
did that come out?
Sorry, I didn't look at the date.
No,
it's
it's
in
fine.
August sometime.
Okay, so it's
either
coming up.
next week or the week after.
That's probably smart to do it then versus being like December or
Right. I
something.
think it's a Friday release,
Oh, perfect.
as usual. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Great pick.
Yeah.
All right, now we get to move over. Anthony, I always feel like you've got interesting choices
Oh
as
wow,
well.
that's a lot of pressure.
You're gonna be like, it's called Minecraft.
Yeah, right.
You're like, no. But what are you looking forward to the rest of the year?
I am very excited for Warhammer 40,000 Darktide. I don't know if
Yes.
either of you are
Nice.
Vermintide people.
Dude, it was one of my picks today.
Yeah.
Dude, so good
yeah.
pick.
Vermintide's
Nice.
awesome. I played a lot of it with my brothers-in-law. It like scratches that Left 4 Dead itch, but
Yes.
like in a fantasy setting with some really fun melee combat, some good loot. And so I'm very excited to see how they translate that to the 40K universe. I'm not like a huge Warhammer person. Like I'm not into the lore or anything like that, but got a lot of fun out of Vermintide 2. So yeah, just really curious to see what that thing is. It looks great from the previews. So yeah.
So they just pushed it back
No.
to November 30th.
Oh, but still
Oh.
this year.
Still
okay.
this year,
Okay.
baby, so you're fine. Yeah, you're still good. Yeah, no,
Nice.
Because it was coming out like in September or something
Okay.
originally. Because I looked at it because I was like waiting for it because I have other people who are waiting for it as well. Corey, where do you land on Darktide? Did you play any Vermintide at all?
I did not.
You weren't killing rat people?
I was not, nope.
Okay.
I'm aware of the franchise. It looks really cool. I had no rhyme or reason to not play it.
Yeah.
I just never got around to it, but it looks really cool.
It's
It looks
really
cool. I know you're a big fan
I'm
too,
a big
so.
fan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that a Game Pass jam?
It might be now, but it wasn't back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
we
looked
played it
up.
on Steam, me and my brothers and
yeah.
so I don't think it's on there. Maybe it will be now, yeah.
Sure.
But I don't, yeah.
It
Okay.
seems like a perfect fit for it, but yeah.
Yeah.
So Darktide taking a lot of the ideas and core of Vermintide, which is fighting ratmen, and now we're fighting like kind of creepy zombie-esque, but not really. I don't know the 40K stuff. I'm also not well versed in, so they're like Space Marine people out there
It's
who are
very
yelling at me.
complicated.
It's very complicated. But you're fighting hordes of these things, and it's a 4-person team. Various classes, various abilities, and kind of working together to get through these kind of onslaughts of just tons of things. But now it seems like more of a focus on range.
Probably, yeah.
Comparatively to
I
what
know
they
like
had
they
in
have
the
the big like chainsaw swords in 40K, so I'm sure there'll be some of that.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw
Yeah.
somebody had that already, which is good. But none of it. You don't think it plays a Space Marine in this one because the Space Marines are ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're like 9-foot tall juggernauts who just rip through everything. Space Marine 2 can't come soon enough. Such a good game, some of the best co-op out there, and trust me. But this game I am so looking forward to because it looks really creepy.
Yeah, yeah.
But it also looks like, I don't know, it kind of gave me like, not only Vermintide stuff, but a little like kind of Alien-esque.
Sure.
Because like dark, creepy hallways with like things running at you. I was like, okay, I'm all about that. So I'm really looking forward to this one. It sounds like they've revamped a bunch of things too. I've been watching some kind of dev diaries on it too, because they're like, all right, here's the basis of Vermintide, but we want to make something brand new and something that's really fun, because the old game, Corey, for your knowledge, was very like kind of grindy towards
Okay.
the end.
Yeah.
It was very kind of like Diablo-esque, where it's like, if you want good gear, you just have to keep running these things again
Same
and again.
missions,
Got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, even
Got
though
it.
they were like Left 4 Dead, where they were different every time, and they kind of, I don't know if they have a game director the same way, but it was like they
Okay.
put special ones in different places, and hordes
Okay.
come at you at different times, and it was very involved. And
Got it.
a lot of communication, a
Yeah.
lot of like, I'm being strangled, please come help me,
Yeah.
like kind of thing. But yeah, man, Darktide, what a good pick, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
dude, I'm sad that it's not coming up before Halloween, because I feel like it's like
Yeah.
a really good like
Oh,
space
yeah.
Halloween game.
That'd be great.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so I'm like, okay, but hey, November 30th, that's okay.
Yeah.
Let it cook. The older I get, the more I'm just like, I don't need it today.
Yeah.
Take your time with it. Take
Yeah.
your time. I
Right.
don't need it.
Right.
Will you try out Darktide?
For
Corey?
sure, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I asked about Game Pass, because that
seems
that
like
makes
it.
things so much more digestible,
Yeah.
for lack of better words. But yeah, absolutely. I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah. And
Definitely.
you'll be there day one on Steam probably with your buddies.
Probably, yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Dude, good pick. I'm so
Thank
glad
you.
you brought that up. I was like, I'm gonna bring it up if you're not gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
Because the next one I want to bring up is a little bit of a crazy one.
All right.
Talk about Ubisoft, a little Skull and Bones.
Oh,
babies.
nice. Yeah, good call.
A $70 game that might only be multiplayer.
Yeah.
Which I've been waiting for Skull and Bones for so long. I feel like I have to buy it, even if it's not to the level I want it to be, because I'm
Yeah.
like, they actually made it.
Yeah.
So for people who might not know, and you guys kind of know a little bit about this, but Skull and Bones was introduced many, many years ago. And people saw it and they're like, this looks pretty cool. And like, is there like, I don't know, a single player? Like, is this like Black Flag Part 2 or Part 3? And they're like, nope, it's just the multiplayer stuff. And then they're like, actually, we're gonna work on some things. And we didn't hear about it for like a really long time. And we're like, is this game canceled? It's kind of, Ubisoft's been doing this a few times, like Beyond Good and Evil 2. We're still not sure where that is.
They just hired a new writer. I just saw a headline. They just hired a new writer for Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I saw that.
Incredible.
It's still out
saw
there
that.
somewhere.
That's incredible.
It's
Cool.
wild.
So-
Ubisoft in general is, what a ride.
It is a ride.
It is a ride.
But they, you know what I'll say this about, especially their multiplayer games, they will support them like crazy, and they'll come back around. Like Rainbow Six Siege, and then For Honor. I remember For Honor came back around in a really big way. So I'm really interested in this game. You know, it's pirates. You get to have a pirate ship. You start off. It seems like there's kind of a campaign that you can build out into a multiplayer thing. So it seems like they've built more and more versus being like just it's 5v5. You're gonna fight each other. It's like team deathmatch, but you're in ships. But there looks like there's a little bit of something. There's a little bit of on-land stuff. It looks like you're just kind of walking around, though. It doesn't look like you're Assassin's Creeding it. You're not climbing over everything. And so I'm just really excited for something here because I thought there was never going to be something. I was like, oh my gosh.
What's the Xbox Remedy Pirate Games of Service live service game?
The Rare, you mean?
Rare. I'm sorry, Rare.
Sea of Thieves. Yeah.
Sea of
Yep.
Thieves.
Yeah.
Are you getting Sea of Thieves vibes, but more realistic?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say that.
Okay.
Because that Sea of Thieves was more of like, it seemed more involved in like, in a light way. Like
Okay.
you
It
just
seems
kind
goofy.
it's very
more
goofy,
goofy, right.
Skull and Bones seems a lot more
A little
like
more serious.
we're
Yeah.
serious pirates.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that one was more like if we met like with ships, like one cannonball would start to like sink a ship. This is more like it seems like RPG in that like my ship is better at fighting your ship.
Got
His
it.
ship is better at fighting my ship and
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
And this kind of came off Assassin's Creed 4 or Black Flag, right?
Yes.
Shortly after.
It was the group who I think was known for doing the naval combat. I don't know if it was Singapore or something like that. And then there was Assassin's Creed Rogue, which had more of that ship stuff because then they went on to do, you know, Origins and so on and so forth. They stopped doing naval stuff a little bit in Odyssey, but never to the same level. And so a lot of people were like, we really like the ship combat. Because for me, that was one of the best parts of 4 for Black Flag. I was like, man, that ship combat's so good.
It's really fun.
So I'm so curious to see what this is. And again, it's $70, and I'm so interested to know how much there's going to be. You know what I mean? But again, I feel like my hands are tied because I've been waiting for this game for so long, and we don't have a lot of crazy pirate games.
Right.
You know? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Where do you land on this, Anthony?
I like the idea of having a good pirate game.
Yeah.
But I've also I've been intrigued by Sea of Thieves for years and I've never touched it.
Sure.
And so I feel like I like the concept more than I am actually
Yeah.
excited to play it.
Sure.
But I am also I'm just excited to see, like you said, it was in development for so long, and we were like, where is this?
Yeah.
Does this still exist? So I'm glad it's coming out. I'm very excited to see what the response to it is.
Yeah. Corey, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, the price of admission, you already mentioned that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
brutal for a game that, depends on review scores and hype
Right.
and just the consensus, the public, how people respond to it. Like, hey, if it comes out swinging as this incredible game, this unmissable, sure, I'll slap down $70, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it looks really cool. Seems like a Game Pass game.
I know, so many do
It's
these days, right?
I don't know,
Yeah.
$70. But it does look very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, stay tuned, I guess.
Well, and one thing about this one versus Sea of Thieves that we keep bringing up is that Sea of Thieves originally kind of launched as a very co-op dependent game. Like if you were steering the ship, you wouldn't be able to see because the sail was in your way. So Anthony, I would be like, all right, you got to turn left. There's rocks up ahead. And then they made it more single player that you could kind of have your own little ship and so on and so forth. This does not look like it's that level. It looks like it's very much, if you want to play alone, you can play alone. If
Right.
you want to play with friends, you can play with friends. But
Right.
I love the idea of sailing the high seas with multiple people and having
Cool.
different ships together and fighting people. But I wanted there to be melee combat.
Right.
Or on the ground stuff because I
Right.
love that. Boarding another ship was so much fun. I love doing it. I did it a bajillion times in both Black Flag and Rogue.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just so curious. I'm I feel like I shouldn't be,
Yeah.
but I feel like I'm endeared to this thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like I need to support it at this point.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, I
Yeah.
bought
Those
it.
underdogs at Ubisoft.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right. They don't need it. When they come out with their Assassin's Creed Infinite or whatever, it's the forever Assassin's Creed, then
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's cool that they actually made it though. Because I
Right.
thought for a long time, I was like, I feel like any day now they're gonna be like, it's over.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, so
Make
that's
it walk
coming
the
up.
plank.
Yes, which ironically coming out November 8th, a day before God of War.
Wow.
I was like,
Wow. Interesting.
Yikes.
I was like,
Good luck.
It's like, good idea.
I'm really curious on that Ubisoft September thing because there's rumors of a Assassin's Creed 1 remaster that I've heard for a long time.
Could use it.
It could
Yeah.
use it. I mean, the gameplay is a little dated in that first
Yeah.
game, but it was so mind-blowing at the time. And I still
yeah.
love the way that game looks.
It has a great look.
It has a great look. It's
Yeah.
kind of that kind of blue, almost like
Yeah.
what the Matrix did with green, they
Yeah.
did with blue.
Yeah.
And Altair, they only did, correct me if I'm wrong, one game with Altair?
He's briefly in other games.
Oh, he is, okay.
But mainly the focus.
As
yes.
the main,
Yeah.
okay. So, anyways, I'm curious to see what they do with that.
That would be good. Yeah, like a full remake. Well, plus we're still waiting on Prince of Persia.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but that's a good one. All
Yeah.
right. Corey, speaking about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I was like, I'm gonna try to bait you into saying something Assassin's Creed.
Sure.
What's another thing you're looking forward to the rest
Well,
of the year?
I'm going to cheat a little bit, just
Cheat,
a little
do
bit.
it.
I'm going to do a tie between Modern Warfare 2 and Splatoon 3.
What a great
Winter
split.
behind the camera, we've had a lot of fun with Splatoon chats in the past, and
Yeah.
It reminds me of summer Splatoon.
Yeah.
Bright colors, you're splattering paint everywhere. Super fun multiplayer mode.
Yeah.
Splatoon 2, I'm sorry, had a great campaign. Lots of fun platforming, lots of fun paint splattering. I love those games, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, they're just so fun and silly and goofy with quirky music and a really unique gameplay style with the paint splatter. So I think that's September.
Okay.
So I'm excited for that. But in the vein of multiplayer shooters, if you will, is Modern Warfare 2.
Sure.
Those last 2 Call of Duty games have been really disappointing. I haven't been excited for Call of Duty games since probably like 2018, 2019.
Sure.
Whenever that Modern Warfare remake, not really a remake, it was kind of a reboot, if you will.
Yeah.
So this is the follow-up to that. So last year we had Vanguard, which seemed pretty disappointing, from my perspective at least. And then the year before that we had Cold War.
Okay. Yeah.
But not only that, they kind of screwed up Warzone with this new Caldera map. And I know Anthony's played a little bit of Warzone in the past. So I'm hoping they bring it back with Modern Warfare 2. Knock it out of the park with a really good campaign and with a new Warzone map. A lot of fun memories playing that with my 2 brothers. That was our jam for 2 years in a row. That was just something we looked forward to, and then we just totally fell off.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to those 2 multiplayer shooters. I hope they're great.
Yeah.
I hope that gets me and my brothers back into Call of Duty in a way, and maybe if you 2 guys get into it, and then I just love Splatoon. So.
Sure. All right, we'll start with Call of Duty. This is the last one, and then they're taking a year off.
Correct.
Which they haven't done for 75 years.
Yeah.
They haven't taken 1 year off. No.
Right.
It's
like
been a while.
2006, I think.
Was it 2006?
I think so.
So they've been going for quite a while.
I believe so.
Oh my gosh, like 15 years.
Yep.
Just.
Yeah.
So they're finally taking a break after this, but you're excited about Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Which is good because you're coming off of, like you said, 2 that you were like.
Right.
I don't
Exactly.
know. And if you're excited about this, maybe then the idea is, take a year off and then whatever comes in 2 years, then you'll be excited again.
Right.
Because Call of Duty used to be for a while, not even just video games, but anything was the highest selling thing anywhere.
Right.
And
Right.
they've had a lot of competition since
Yep.
then.
Yeah,
lot of other
FIFA,
things.
Elden Ring, they've seen
totally.
huge, big sellers come out,
Totally. So, but you're excited. I'm glad to hear that you're excited about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say on each individual one, right?
That's fine,
It's just
yeah.
that's kind of why it was a tie. It was like, I love Splatoon. Those games are just super fun and colorful.
Yeah.
Reminds me of summer. It's a little weird. It's coming out in September this year. I think it would have been better if they would have threw that out in June in the height of the summer, right?
Yeah.
Like bright colors, really fun, easy breezy. And then, I just, I hope they manage to bring that Call of Duty franchise back to the expectations of the fans and the quality of that reboot, right?
Yeah.
It came out, I think it was 2019.
I think it was.
And that game was just awesome, man.
Okay.
So I'm hoping the sequel does what that game did, right?
Yeah.
And I hope they launch a new Warzone map that's worthy of that first game, which was Verdansk.
I think
Is it
so.
Verdansk? I think that's what that first map was called. I
think you're right.
Actually, it wasn't the first map, but it was the one they launched with Modern Warfare. So, yeah, a couple multiplayer shooters that I'm looking forward to. I hope they're good.
Yeah.
Not a lot to say in each individual one other than, looking forward to, I hope they're good.
Okay, as Cory alluded to, Anthony, you're kind of maybe a little bit of a Call of Duty guy occasionally.
I was like most men who play video games of my age. I was way into Call of Duty back in the day.
The bro shooters.
Yeah.
We're all
And
there.
then I took a long time off, did not play them, but got super into the Modern Warfare reboot.
Yeah.
I think it's like one of the best online multiplayer shooters ever made.
Yep.
It just felt really, really good. Had a good progression system. I think the maps were really well designed. I didn't touch the campaign at all. I don't know if you did the campaign at all.
It's really good.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm super excited for Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
I always want a game like that where you can just hop in and play a couple matches,
Yeah.
and you don't have to get a bunch of people together and
Yeah.
try and organize things. So I will definitely be checking that out. I'm super excited for that one.
Will this be a Steam thing for you, or
No, I'll probably play on PS5.
a PS5?
Yeah.
Cory, will you be PS5 maybe too?
This year, next year it'll be a different story with the acquisition once that goes through. Presumably those will all be Game Pass games.
Right.
So in the meantime,
What a world.
what a world, yeah. In the meantime, probably PS5 or I don't have a Series X right now.
Sure.
So it's just my go-to platform
I don't
for
blame you.
Yeah.
Got the big white fins.
Yeah,
you
I got
exactly.
the black face plates
Ooh,
because
fancy.
I have this like wood panel basement that's very like vintage and retro.
Oh yeah, we've seen it on the
Fancy.
show.
Yeah.
We've seen it on the show.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
The
yeah.
super futuristic like white fins did not really
Yeah.
fit.
Didn't
so,
gel.
So yeah.
Yeah,
You're like the Apple Store design doesn't vibe.
Yeah.
With this.
right.
Yeah. But you know what's so funny? You bring up Splatoon. I played
Yeah.
Splatoon. I want to say 2. It was a few years ago. Splatoon
Yeah.
2 came out, right?
Correct.
A really low-key, interesting, like you said, unique game
Yeah.
that isn't always about just like killing one another.
Yep.
Because they're kids/squids.
Right.
You know, they're just trying
squids.
to
Yeah.
squids. They're just trying to paint the place.
Yeah.
You know, and I've heard that the campaign in 2, especially the boss fights, are really creative and really
Yeah.
inventive. So I'm
Yeah.
curious to see what they build on with that in 3.
Yep.
Right, because this is one of Nintendo's kind of like their things, which
Right.
ARMS I felt like was supposed to kind of be that way
Right.
too.
Didn't pan out.
Didn't
yeah.
pan out,
The way they
yeah.
wanted it to.
They were
yeah.
stretching,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Well, Splatoon is like huge in Japan too. Like,
Really?
it's- oh yeah, it's
Oh, cool.
ginormous. So, I think for good reason. I think, I mean, like not to rehash what I already said, but just quirky characters, really fun.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's not super violent. It's
Yeah.
a little different, little splash of color. Like it's a total summer game for me.
Yeah.
Again, it's a little weird. It's coming out September, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, stay tuned. I'll be curious to see what they do with that. So
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailer for it, and there was like one of the kids was like in like a subway or a train in the desert or something, and I was like,
Right.
they're going really hard with this campaign.
that was the first teaser for 3.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what is this? I was like,
Yeah.
Nintendo's like, yep, this is one of ours. So
Yeah.
you're just gonna have to deal with it.
Right. A little
Um,
post-apocalyptic vibe going on a little bit.
funny,
Yeah.
though. Like
it's a
that game
weird
is
franchise.
very lighthearted. I like it. I really do. I have a lot of respect
Yeah.
for Splatoon. I've only played it a little bit.
Right.
But I like it.
Yep.
All right, Anthony.
Well, I was going to talk about Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, I'm
Beautiful.
sorry.
It's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I
yeah.
got to
That's
talk
great.
about it.
Good,
But
yeah.
now I have to apologize to you because
fine.
I think, given your shirt, I'm about to steal
No, do it.
one of your games.
Go for it.
Which is
What'd you say?
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Dude, yeah.
I have not like seriously played a Pokemon game since Pokemon Black. I think was the last one I like went through the
Okay.
whole thing.
Cool.
And I think they have like totally suckered me by going back to the colors. Like I was trying to think like, why am I so excited for this Pokemon game? Like the last few I was not that interested in. I didn't play Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
I didn't play like Let's Go Pikachu, anything like that. But this one I'm like all in on. And I think it is literally that they're going back to the colors. And I'm like, that activates my lizard brain of
Right.
like
I hear
back
that.
in the day when it'd be like, oh, the new Pokemon game's coming out.
I hear that.
I think the starters look really cool.
Okay.
I like the kind of, they've teased kind of like a more open structure, almost like what was that one that came out earlier this year? Pokemon Legends?
yes.
Yes. So it seems like this is kind of like a melding of that philosophy with like the traditional Pokemon go town to town and win all the badges and stuff
Sure.
like that. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about Scarlet and Violet.
All right. Which starter is the most interesting to you, and which one do you typically go with elemental-wise?
I almost never pick the grass starter.
Okay.
And the reason for that is also very embarrassing, just like the colors are embarrassing. It's because in the original cartoon show, Bulbasaur was such a jerk that when I played the game, I was like, I don't want to play as Bulbasaur. I don't want to pick Bulbasaur.
Nice.
So I'm usually a fire guy.
Yeah.
So I'll probably go fire with this one, but
Cool.
the water starter looks really cool too.
Okay, I don't remember their names.
I don't either.
But they usually release them and then it like dominates Twitter for a little bit, or like social media. Everybody's just like, "Did you see this one? We'll die for this one." And you're
But the one that was dominating Twitter after the Nintendo or the Pokemon event earlier this week was the Fido, which is
Oh.
a dog made of bread, and so it's Fido, D-O-U-G-H.
I
And,
see.
Yeah, people were loving that.
I
so.
understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. I love dogs and bread for different reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So you're gonna be there for that one for sure.
Well, yeah, because that one is on Switch. So while I'm holding the baby, I can.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. You have, and then sometimes you put the baby down, and then you're like, all right, Ragnarok. And then other times you gotta pick it up. You're like, back. Are you getting Scarlet or Violet?
I don't know.
That's the real question.
I think probably Scarlet.
Okay.
I think both of those, like the legendaries, look cool though.
Sure.
Like it's not like in past games there have been like, oh, this one's clearly better.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're both pretty well designed in this one. So, and you get to ride them like motorcycles.
Yeah.
That's awesome. A Pokemon motorcycle? Are you kidding me?
I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I don't. That's how Lapras was back in the day, but it was like, it's the transport Pokemon. And I was like, so somebody saw that a while ago, and they're like, we can use that for transportation. Like, I was like, really? Really? Okay, but you're there day one.
I think so.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I think so.
Cory, that's more your wife's thing, right?
Yeah. Tiffany does play the Pokemon games. Yeah, I've said this on this show before. I never owned a Game Boy. So I never got into. Was it Red and Blue? Was it the first one? And ever since then, I just couldn't get into it.
That's okay.
I tried on Switch. I tried on the 3DS, and it's just like, yeah, it's just not for me. I respect it. I think it's very cool. It's just, yeah. I will not be playing those games this fall. But
that's okay.
You guys have. I hope you guys enjoy them.
If you had to pick a starter, fire, water, or grass.
Is Charizard the fire?
Yeah. He is the fire.
There you go.
He brings the fire.
I'm going fire.
You're going to go fire?
I like Charizard. I don't know. I got the Charizard amiibo. I don't know why I have that.
Charizard's great. Who doesn't love Charizard? I mean, he's like, I love him too.
A sucker for dragons. He's a dragon?
Originally he was fire flying.
Okay.
I don't know, even know if he is anymore.
Oh.
He might be a dragon. No, even Gyarados back in the day was a water flying. It wasn't even dragon. Dragon typing has been a weird thing in Pokemon for a long time.
Got it.
I don't know why.
Got it.
But yeah, so it's interesting because I love Pokemon, as you know. I'm like a Gen 1, maybe Gen 2 boy. But I'm always interested to see what's coming up next because obviously it's another Nintendo printing money thing where they just like, if they put that on PC, people would be like, they'd be losing their minds. So I'm with you though, the colors, like Diamond and Pearl, I'm kind of like, I don't know about this. You know, it's like, I'm not drawn to it the same way as like, if they say Cobalt or something, you'd be like, okay, hello.
Cobalt, yeah.
You caught my interest once again. I still want to figure out why I'm like a 10-year-old who's just it's such a safe world that you could just run around in, collecting badges from adults. They're like, wow, you're better than me. This is my full-time job, and you beat me. You beat me every time. Like, it's like, I wish I could re-challenge them. When's that going to be a thing?
Yeah, well.
Has that ever been a thing?
There were some leaks about Scarlet and Violet like a couple weeks ago, and one of the things, and I don't know if this has been verified or not, but one of the things was that they might be going to a structure where like you don't have to get the badges linearly, like you can do them in any order.
Break the game.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll be interested to see if that ends up being true, and if so, how that affects. Like, is there going to be some sort of scaling?
Sure.
Like, yeah, so I'm curious about that.
I'm excited for the YouTube videos to come out that are like how to beat the last gym with the starter Pokemon at level 2 or something. And it'll be like, how did you do this? Like, I'm just amazed that they're still making new Pokemon.
Yeah.
And new regions. Like, at some point, I feel like it's going to hit like a critical mass. And like, we've already made the dog that's made of bread.
We can't do another bread dog.
We need something new.
I mean, they've really plumbed the depths because there's a garbage Pokemon.
Trubbish makes me viscerally angry. Like, it makes me so angry, especially at new Pokemon Snap. Like, you have to take pictures of it. And I'm like, are you kidding? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. But anyway, continue.
No, yeah, I'm just curious. Are they over 1,000? They have to be.
I thought they were like around 700 or 800.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know every new release they were kind of scaling back a little bit because it was like they couldn't make 150 brand new ones each time. Because you're right, they would have been in like 1,000.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they're at right now.
I don't know either. Yeah.
It's so.
They got
many.
trading cards to sell.
Yeah. They got some trading cards to sell.
They got to come up with new cards.
They gotta move those cards. I don't blame them. I get it. It's a business. And weird thing, Game Freak is just like they're tied with Nintendo, but they're not necessarily Nintendo owned.
Second party, is that the appropriate?
But they're so close.
Yeah.
Like Tembo is the last major kind of thing they did side for like Pokemon, or maybe they've done other things, but that's the one I knew. But I'm curious. You brought up Arceus. Did you skip Arceus?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, no thanks.
Not play it,
Yeah.
I mean, the last time, so I was a Gen 1 guy, and then I played Gen 2, and Gen 2 is actually my favorite. I just actually started replaying Crystal on my 3DS.
Oh, really?
It's an incredible video game.
Okay, cool.
But then I hopped out. Like, I did not do Ruby Sapphire, I never did Diamond Pearl.
Sure.
Like I said, I hopped back in to play Black, but then hopped out again.
Okay.
And so this will be the first one I've sunk time into in when did Black come out? 10 years ago? 11 years ago? So, yeah.
Does the 3D version of it, like, does Arceus, is it interesting to you in any way, or are you just
I was intrigued by the structure of it and how it kind of like. I'm always a fan of when they start mixing up the formula.
Sure.
Especially with a game like Pokemon that is so formalized,
so
like,
rigid.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
This is how you do it. You get your 8 matches.
Yeah, but then it came out and the reviews were kind of mixed, and that was also right around the time that Horizon and Elden Ring came out.
It's too much.
I just didn't have the time.
It's too much. Yeah. Which, by the way, have you beaten Elden Ring?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah,
nice.
I beat it a couple months ago. Month ago, maybe.
Okay, I was like, you didn't beat it when we were talking in April, did
No,
you?
no, no,
Okay,
no.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was
Like,
still
I
going through
do
it
an
then.
Elden Ring check-in quick.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Incredible.
Yeah, okay. You're like waiting for when Pokemon turns into Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Which they tried to do like boss fights in Arceus where you're like having to like dodge roll and like throw more Pokeballs at like
wow.
super Pokemon. Yeah, it was this whole
Interesting.
weird thing where you as the trainer were doing it. I was like, okay, Pokemon's trying some new things. It's been like 30 years.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
like, all right, time to change up the game plan, which I respect. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm curious to see how Scarlet and Violet do.
Yeah.
It'll still sell like hotcakes.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Because it's Pokemon. Because they've got us, and then they also have the kids.
Yes.
So they've got it all. They're
Yeah.
doing just fine. You know what I mean?
And then there's like the hardcore like people who pay attention to the EV and hunt the shinies.
oh
and,
my gosh, I
like,
can't.
No.
They're like the stats and stuff. Like I have to keep re-rolling the game because my starter didn't get the stats I wanted.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
what?
I'm very much closer to like the children playing, where I'm
Yeah,
just like,
yeah,
that's a
pretty
cool
much.
Pokemon.
Yeah. I'm like, I like this one. And they're like,
Yeah.
it's not that good. I'm like, I'll make it strong.
Yeah.
Like my favorite Pokemon of all time is Sudowoodo, and everybody hates Sudowoodo. So
I just don't like that it's a rock type that looks like a grass type. That was my problem with it. Like, and then Gold and Silver, like, pour water on it, and then it starts moving.
Yeah.
I'm like, they took that Snorlax thing and they took it in a different direction. I was like, which is fine. I'm always curious to know what they do with those starters and then to see what they turn into because designs over time have changed drastically.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Like the third evolution usually is like something that is like, what even is that? Is it a penguin anymore?
Where did that
Like,
come from?
You're like, oh my gosh, it looks like it's ready to fight everybody. You're like, oh, this is my sweet Pokemon. Like, I love it so much. But yeah, okay. So that comes out in
November.
I was gonna say that's a November one.
yeah,
right?
I think it's right around Ragnarok actually.
Oh gosh. Okay. Stacked November.
Yeah,
Quietly
yeah.
stacked.
Yes. Yeah.
So you've got you could have both.
We'll see. Yeah.
You could have both, but you're going Scarlet or Violet. Maybe
I think
not
so. I think I'll be just playing a lot more Switch stuff at that time because also my PS5 is in the basement,
Sure.
like away from the kids' room and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'll have to be more mobile with
Yeah.
the Switch. So.
Do you dock it often? I like to have this conversation.
I don't
with
play it.
Switch people.
I keep it docked, but I don't play it docked all that often. The
Okay.
only time I really play it docked is when my wife and I will play like Mario Party, and
sure.
we'll do it there. But otherwise, I'm mostly playing handheld.
Sure. And Cory, you're kind of a hybrid?
I'm mostly handheld.
Okay.
It's pretty rare that I dock it.
Sure.
You know, if like Breath of the Wild comes out or like a mainline Mario game comes out, I'll probably dock it and play it on the big TV. But
Sure.
I played a lot of Metroid Dread docked, just because that game looked so good on the big screen.
right,
nice.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, Cory keeps trying to sell me on Dread.
Oh,
I
it's
still
great.
haven't played it yet. I'm so
good.
sorry.
So good.
Best game of 2021, some say.
Some have said.
Are you one of those some?
Oh yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's no question.
You're like, that is the one that
Yeah.
we should be talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, that's, I mean, it's no new Pokemon Snap, but it's
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't have Trubbish though, so that's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, one of the reasons, side note, about Arceus I didn't get it is because they did Growlithe and Arcanine dirty. It looks so weird. They did different designs for some of the original Pokemon.
Oh,
And they gave
interesting.
them different typing, so like it was like Growlithe is like fire and rock now, and then it looks different. And I was
Yeah.
like, guys, it's too much. You guys are Alolan is cute. You know, like Alolan Vulpix, it's ice, it's fun.
That's like the new
But-
thing, yeah, because like they did the Alolan, and then in Pokemon Snap they had the what was it called? The glowing Pokemon.
Yes.
And then in
yes.
this new one, in Scarlet and Violet, they have like these Pokemon are encased in crystals.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is so much. Pokemon, your lore is getting deeper by the moment. I can't keep up with it.
It's
Back in
reaching Warhammer levels.
Yeah, right.
One day people will be like, I can't get into Pokemon, it's too
The
deep.
lore's too deep.
It's too deep. I can't play Darktide because it's too deep. I can't do it. I wanted to bring up one more game here that was a little bit darker, and I'm pretty positive it's coming out this year still. And that is a game from the people who made the old Dead Space games, Callisto Protocol.
Nice.
Yes.
You
and
stole my final one, so
totally
I'm glad.
wanted- I was
I'm
like,
glad you
I
brought
wanted
it
to
up.
talk about it because I
Good.
saw that pop up and I was like,
Nice.
I actually have a weird fondness for Dead Space, and I'm not a horror guy,
Yeah.
but I kind of love Dead Space.
Yeah.
And it's been weird because they had 1, and then 2 was still really good. 3 was co-op, not as beloved, and they had microtransactions, or it got really strange. But Callisto Protocol looks really cool, like a return to form. Now, Cory, you want to talk about this. You're a Dead Space. You like the creepy stuff a little bit more than I do.
Yes. Yes, I love those games. I
Yeah.
can't wait for this. This is like ex-Visceral, correct?
Yes.
Visceral Games
Those
developers.
great people,
so it's-
and this is their first game coming out with this
Right.
new thing. Good
Right.
on
They
it.
said
Good on
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
fix it. Don't fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great, right? It looks terrifying.
Yeah. Very scary.
Yeah, I just watched like some performance review stuff. Who's the website that does the performance?
Digital Foundry?
Digital Foundry.
those guys
Digital
are great.
Foundry did a bunch of stuff, and they had a pretty short dev cycle on this game. So it's like really impressive how fine-tuned it looks, and it looks really scary. It looks like a Dead Space game, and we are getting that Dead Space remake, but obviously, outside of Ragnarok, I think this is the one for me this fall that I'm really stoked for.
Yeah.
So
the way I saw it is like it's kind of Resident Evil, a little bit in space,
Right.
kind of, you know,
Right.
not to the same level of maybe tricky puzzles and things like that.
Right.
But it's very gory.
Right.
And very creepy.
Yep. Yep.
I really did enjoy Dead Space. I really do. I'll never forget the first time I played it. I was playing back in college, and you have like the foot stomp ability, and you can use that at any time. And someone was giving me information, like one of the NPCs was saying something that like something was broken, and I inadvertently hit that at the right time, so it looked like the guy had freaked out. He's like, dang it. He's like, why is the subway broken in space? But yeah, I'll never forget shooting Xenomorph arms off and legs off, because that's where they were weakest, which was so weird, because video games teach you, they're like, aim for the head every time, but that game's like, don't aim for that. Don't do it. Where do you land, Anthony, on
I
this?
played a little bit of Dead Space 1 back in the day and really enjoyed it, but never played 2 or 3. But Callisto Protocol looks very creepy. I think EA did Dead Space so dirty.
It's too bad.
And I'm glad it's coming back in some form. That's why I have mixed feelings about the Dead Space remake. Like, I'm excited that they're doing it. I'm kind of bummed that they killed Dead Space and Visceral, and now they're like, hey, you guys love this. We're gonna bring it back and print money with it.
Right.
But Callisto Protocol looks very cool. I think I'm interested about the story of that game, because it was originally set in the PUBG universe, the PlayerUnknown's Battleground
Really weird.
universe.
I forgot about that. I did not know about this. That's
And then,
hilarious.
and then they came out and they were like, we're not setting it there anymore.
Such a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that they
Call
straightened
back
that
off
out.
that.
Yeah.
That'd be like, it's being set in the Fortnite universe.
So weird.
Well, but why?
Yeah.
I mean, everything is, I guess, now, but...
Right.
But yeah, okay. One thing I love too about seeing some of this gameplay, and like they get it. It still reminds me of like when you'd see an old video game, and you're like, "Can I do this?" And then they would show it off. So it'd be like, "There's a giant fan," and I'm like, "Oh, someone's going in the fan," and they pick someone up and throw them into the fan, and I'm like,
the gravity stuff. I forgot about that. That looks really interesting.
I was like, it was like just a little bit of those force powers, because I've been playing through Jedi Fallen Order again, and you don't have the same force mobility as like Unleashed, and I'm like, I miss when games are like, here's a force power, and you can like pick something up from a distance and then telekinetically throw them somewhere. And not only that, but then like also showing off that they're like, yes, and we also love to kill our main protagonist in very horrible ways.
Yeah.
And
The
show
selling
it to you.
point.
And you're like, it's like, okay, so when you die, you're not like, it's like in the Arkham games, when you go down, it's like a villain like is over you and says something mean, and you're like, I went down, but also I got a moment with the Joker that was pretty cool. You know, so that's one thing that is maybe a selling point, maybe not, if you don't like watching your character get turned into mincemeat.
Just a random tangent, but I started playing the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remake last night, because it's free on PlayStation Plus this month.
Oh, cool.
And it's very good so far, but like one of the joys of the Tony Hawk games is seeing your person just like crash, right? They changed it now where when you fall, it's like this digital glitch and you just like get right back up again. I think they were probably like, we don't want to show all these horrific injuries.
Interesting.
It's not a great advertisement for the sport of skateboarding.
I suppose there was one that was doing it a while ago that would like come up with your hospital bill when you would go down. And I loved it. It would tell you all the bones you broke, and it would tell you how much money you would have to spend at the hospital. And I was like, this is really funny.
Crazy.
I was like, that's a really...
Was that the 360 launch one?
It could have been. It was a while ago.
Like pink text. I can see the
You
cover.
might be right.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what that one was called, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember thinking like, oh, that's a funny idea to put into. I was like, snowboarding games need this. Like all those, like Steep would have been better.
BMX.
Right.
BMX, totally.
Right.
Oh my gosh, ATV versus MX or whatever. Like, you're like, okay, you're going to the hospital. I was like, you won this race, but you're like, you spent 50 grand at the hospital. And you're like, oh no.
Was it Tony Hawk Underground?
It could be.
Was it Underground?
It might be Thug.
Okay, all right.
Little Thug days.
Oh yes, right. It could be Thug.
Which is N64. I remember playing that way back in the day on that, which is the yellow cartridge.
Yeah.
That along with Donkey Kong, which Donkey Kong's a whole other topic. That's a whole other topic.
We can't get into Donkey Kong today.
Callisto Protocol.
Callisto Protocol.
Yeah.
But Cory, will you be again day one? Are you?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Anytime I see a December release date, I'm like, that's gonna get pushed.
Yeah. It's always nerve-wracking.
You know, it's It depends, right?
Yeah.
It depends the level of polish. I mean, if they're like, we could really use a few more weeks. I could see that slipping to like February,
Yeah.
right? But it seems like they're sticking with that. It's a bummer it's not coming out for Halloween.
Yeah.
Seems like the perfect game to launch for Halloween. However, they might not want to launch it Q1 of 2023 because of that Dead Space remake. So
Yeah.
I would imagine they're going to do everything they can to hit that. I think it's December 3rd.
Well, especially with their turnaround time making this thing and how good it looks.
Right.
I kind of believe it when they say they're going to come out, right?
Right.
Because other times you'd be like, I don't know, guys, like, because they show
Right.
off a lot of like just uncut gameplay.
Right.
It's like, okay, and that could be a vertical slice, of it.
Right.
But I don't know, these guys, they know what they're doing. This is not their first rodeo, even if it
Right.
looks like it's their first rodeo. It
Sure.
is not. It is definitely not.
Yeah.
And a perfect Christmas game, though.
Yeah,
You know
sure.
what I mean? Maybe
Why
just
not?
put like this little holiday overlay on it. You
Yeah.
shoot something off, and it's like some snow comes out or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only December game, speaking of, I remember when Super Smash Bros. Came out in December.
Right.
And then it got kind of forgotten for like the next year because it was like the next year for Game Awards is coming. Like that's
Yeah.
the only when Nintendo
Right.
says the game's coming out in December. I'm like, it's coming out in December.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's why
Oh, yeah.
That's why Breath of the Wild didn't get like a firm release date ever.
Right.
Because they were like, I don't know.
Right.
We're not sure.
Yeah.
Unless it did, and I'm just horrible, and I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think that's going to launch on a new console. I'm saying it right here.
You're a madman, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's what they've done the last 3 times.
Okay.
Right?
So
Breath
okay.
of the Wild.
Sure.
It did come out on Wii U, to be fair.
Yeah.
But they waited for that crossover console launch. They did it with, or maybe they didn't do it with Skyward Sword. So Skyward Sword was a little bit later in the Wii cycle, but they definitely did it with Twilight Princess.
Sure.
With GameCube and Wii.
Yeah.
So if they're gonna launch a new console, they're gonna launch it with Breath of the Wild 2. The Switch came out 2017.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
But next year it'll be a 6-year-old console. I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
Okay.
Just an assumption.
Do you think it's going to be like a brand new, or is it like a new version of the Switch?
It's hard to say. I don't know. I just have a feeling that they're going to have some sort of new hardware next year, probably late next year, and I think they're going to wait to launch Breath of the Wild 2. Just a hunch.
Sure.
Just a hunch.
They want
We'll see.
Bayonetta 3 on a brand new console. You gotta
Right.
make sure Bayo looks great.
Right.
You know what I mean? They'll be like, all right. No.
Yeah.
Do you think the same thing, Anthony?
I don't know. So they just put out like on a Nintendo earnings call. They said they're not doing any new hardware through like I think March of 2023.
Okay.
Which
that would make
obviously,
sense.
yeah, it
That would make
could be the
sense.
end of the year next
March
year.
2024.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or March 24th. of
Yes,
2023.
exactly. Yeah. I think
Right.
I think I would have a hard time seeing them. I think if they put out a new console, it's just going to be a Switch 2.
Right.
I would have a hard time seeing
Right.
them going away from that format.
Like
Right.
a Wii U situation.
Yeah.
Kind
Yeah.
of, sort
Yep.
of. Yeah.
because just I don't know, the Switch sells like hotcakes. People love that the ability to take it on the go and play it at home. So I think Nintendo has like found their like golden goose.
Yeah. Super Switch. The name's right there.
Super Switch,
Just,
yeah.
just do it. Quit messing around.
Switch.
Just
That's
do it.
dirty. I like
Bring
it.
that font back from the Super Nintendo. It's
Yeah.
kind of slanted, and then they got the thing.
yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just quit.
Just do it.
Did
quit
either
messing around.
Did either of you get an OLED?
No.
No,
Yeah.
I still kind of want one because I've heard it's gorgeous, but I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, that's the
There's
same.
gotta be an iteration in the pipeline.
Yeah.
A Switch Pro proper.
Sure. Yeah.
So-
I don't. Yeah. I've never. I got the Switch, the Super Smash Brothers edition, because I was like, I'm gonna wait for one that was like, there's a game on there that I really wanted to play. But I'm usually not like the guy who does like the incremental jumps with things like that. Even though some people I know who are like day and date, they're gonna get the newer version of it. But the Super Switch, I don't know, man.
It's right there. Just do
That's
it.
tempting.
Yeah.
Because then it starts to become an Xbox S versus an Xbox X situation. And then
Yeah.
you're like, well, the new Breath of the Wild's coming out. You could play it on your Switch, but it's going to run better on the Super Switch.
Right.
And you're like,
Yeah, they will not call it the Super Switch.
I want
that
them
is
to do it,
not
though.
going to happen.
Oh my
I just
gosh.
want it to happen.
Be very cool.
But modern, there's no nostalgic for that outside of people like me that are about to be 40 years old. Well, I'm 39, so
Yeah, exactly.
I got one more year.
You're
in my
Homer
30.
Simpson age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Homer Simpson was supposed to be 39.
Always. Yeah, dude. No, you're eternally 39 now.
So funny.
Yeah, you get to be that
I think
forever.
Mario is supposed to be in his 30s too,
Yeah.
which is also really comical.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That totally checks out.
Yeah.
I want Nintendo to go a completely different direction. Just call it the Nintendo. It has no portable capabilities, and it's the nicest hardware you've ever seen in your life. It blows
Yeah.
away the PS5 and
Yeah.
Xbox because they're like, you'll never understand what we're doing.
Yeah,
and it's like
yeah.
a box that's this big.
Right.
And you're like, what? Like,
I think they should adopt the Xbox naming system and call it the Switch 360.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
I think they should go for that.
That'd be so good. That'd be great.
I would love it, especially because they're kind of buddies right now. Like,
Right.
I could see Phil Spencer being like, "Hey,
Yeah.
what are you guys doing?" And they're
Yeah.
like, "It's gonna be great."
Right.
And make the Joy-Cons Dukes.
Oh my gosh.
Split a Duke in half.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be very cool. Oh my, it would feel so good.
Yeah.
It feels so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just playing with the Super Mario Galaxy Cory was lending to me,
yeah,
and I was trying to do the motion controls with the Pro controller,
Right.
which it does do. So I'm like in a menu screen, I'm like,
That's
come
funny.
on,
Yeah.
Like, there it is.
What do you think of Galaxy?
It's fun.
Yep.
But it reminds me of those Ratchet and Clank levels that were just on
Sure.
like the tiny little worlds, and I was
Sure.
like, this seems like most of this game. Maybe it blows up because
Yeah.
there's a few levels where it did seem like it was
It
more
does,
traditional
yeah.
Mario. So that stuff in the beginning, I was like, oh, this seems like
Yeah.
a different thing that they really leaned into.
Sure.
But people loved it, and especially 2. People
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
really
gonna
loved
say.
2.
I have the like Super Mario 3D All Stars, and
Sure.
I played Galaxy a little bit, but I remember liking Galaxy 2 a lot more.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure because
Yeah.
All Stars comes with that Sunshine and Super Mario 64, and I never
Right.
played Sunshine, which is like the original Power Washer.
Yes,
yeah.
yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same
game.
thing.
You know,
Yep.
I was like, oh, I'm just cleaning up this beautiful little island.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is fun for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still really interested in seeing where some of that stuff goes.
Sure.
Because it's like stuff after Super Mario 64.
Sure.
For the most part, I played 3D World and Odyssey. I should say that.
Sure.
So I've jumped around, kind
Right.
of like Mario himself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
What I've done. But the rest of 2022 looks like there's potential. Not as much as originally, but maybe 2023 will be a super killer year. That's the real hope. But I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys being here today.
Yes.
Thanks
it
for
was
having us.
likewise.
Anthony, thank you for coming back.
Thank you so
thank
much.
You
you.
go back to vacation now?
Yep. I'm going back to the beach.
Right,
so,
right before the baby comes, you're like, all right,
Yeah.
time to take off for a little bit.
Yeah.
And Cory, thank you for coming, and also thank you for setting up this lovely shelf.
Yeah, it was a last minute thing. We ordered the
lovely.
shelf and we figured we better use it. So
I love it.
Yep, we put some stuff on it. But
Thank you.
yeah, thanks, Jimmy.
Yes.
Yep, it was fun.
Yes.
And probably the next time we see you, you'll be a father. So
yes, that's true.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Good
Thank
luck.
you so much. Yes.
Yeah.
Start
Thank
them
you.
young, start them with a little Pokemon.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
You know, start putting that above the crib. You
Right.
know,
Start
that
putting the
kind of thing.
Joy-Cons in there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Getting them used to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I look forward to hearing those stories
Yeah.
and many more.
Yeah.
You'll come back next time you're here, just like,
Yeah.
he's fine. But everybody, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so darn much. Again, this is Game Sharks. My name is Jimmy Good, joined by Cory Lang, Anthony Bettine, and we're hanging out here on QCTV. We do this show, as much as we can, as much as they'll let us. Like I said, we'd go for 24 hours, but we have other things we have to cover here too. But I appreciate you. Until next time, dear viewer, take care.